What's up, shit? Tim Moose here. Now, since I'm doing my favorite musical movies of each decade, it is time for the 60s turn. So here is my official top 10 favorite musical movies of the 60s. Oh boy, can't believe these are this old here. I feel old. I was born when these movies came out. But here's my list. Number 10, Sweet Charity. Now, of course, this was directed by Bob Fosse, who was really iconic when it came to the music genre. And this stars Shirley MacLaine, Sammy Davis Jr., Sheeta Rivera. About this dancer, whore hostess, Charity, who searches for true love in New York City, hoping to escape her unlikely past here. And this obviously has lots of Fosse style spectacle here. Great music from the likes of Big Spender, Hey Big Daddy. Sammy Davis Jr. was great as Big Daddy. He really played that character really well. Great music, great performances by Shirley MacLaine, who I think actually scored a couple of Oscar nominations. I think she actually, I don't remember if she actually won or not, but still, she was incredible there. All right, number nine. Obviously, I got like two Elvis movies on this list. First up, number nine is Blue Hawaii. Obviously, the king of rock and roll himself, Elvis Presley, as, Chad Gates, who returns home to Hawaii after military service and rejecting his parents and business plans to instead, like, immerse himself on an island of lifestyle and love as he finds there. Obviously, Elvis was one of the most iconic music artists of that era, really. And this has some great songs from the likes of Can't Help Falling in Love, Blue Hawaii, Rockin' Hula Baby. You also got like Angela Lansbury's in this one, Joan Blackman. It's such a really good one. Uh, well, if you guys haven't seen it, highly recommend that. It is a Elvis classic. All right. Coming in at number 8 is another Elvis film, Viva Las Vegas. Obviously, one of the most iconic musics in this one is the Viva Las Vegas song. Come on, everybody. This of course stars Elvis as well as Anne Margaret, and as well like Lucky Jackson, played by Elvis, heads to Vegas to win a Grand Prix race by and end up falling for like a swimming instructor, Rusty, creating a rivalry, both racing and romance. Has a really great music throughout. Elvis does such a good job. His chemistry with Anne Margaret's really good. It's such a really good one. Well worth a watch there. Elvis actually had an interesting film career. Like, obviously, whenever you think of Elvis, you always just think of his music and stuff. But he actually did have a really interesting acting career throughout. All right, number 7 is Bye Bye Birdie. Now, Bye Bye Birdie starred Janet Leigh, who you might know as the mother of Jamie Lee Curtis, but she also was the opening kill, the first major kill in Psycho. You know, and this of course it is about like rock star Conrad Birdie is drafted into the army, promoting like a publicity stunt where he gives like one last kiss to this girl named Ian Kim, who sending her town, her family, and her boyfriend into chaos here. And you got the likes of Dick Van Dyke, who, by the way, turns 100 in. Dick Van Dyke turns 100 in December. God bless him. Obviously, you got some great music like Bye Bye Birdie, to the Telephone Hour. And obviously, I have another Dick Van Dyke. I actually got a couple of Dick Van Dyke movies on this list, as a matter of fact. He was like a king with music back in the days. And obviously, he was great. Janet Leigh was terrific in this. And Margaret, the aforementioned Anne Margaret. Some really good performances throughout. All right, number 6 is The Music Man. Although I cannot really think of this musical without thinking of the scene in Deadpool and Wolverine. Uh, I'll let he will sing the entire act of Music Man in one beat, which obviously you guys don't know. Hugh Jackman actually starred on The Music Man on Broadway. But of course, The Music Man is a really good one, to say the least. Of course, even Family Guy. There was a couple of songs in this that was parodied on Family Guy, like the Shabuki song that Pierce sings in in the Tom Brady episode, where of course he's a showboating. That obviously was a parody of The Music Man. If you guys don't know much about The Music Man, it got released in 1962. about fast-talking con man who poses as a boys band organizer to scam the small town, only to fall for Marion the librarian. And the lead, of course, Robert Preston's great, Shirley Jones, Hackett, who, by the way, is the voice, one of the voices in what you call the Little Mermaid. You know, I think he actually voices Scuttle, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a little tidbit for you there. I mean, obviously, you got some great songs from the aforementioned Shibuki, which again I can never think of that song without thinking of Family Guy. Semi six trombones. Yo got trouble. I mean, you got some good music in this here. All right, coming in at number five is My Fair Lady. Now majority of these songs also was featured on Family Guy, which actually makes a little sense because Seth MacFarlane has actually mentioned this before. The actor Rex Harrison in My Fair Lady is actually like Stewie's voice. When he does the Stewie Griffin voice, it's actually based on Rex Harrison in My Fair Lady. So there's a little Family Guy tip for you. Like I feel like if it wasn't for Rex Harrison, we wouldn't have the Stewie Griffin voice that we know. So yeah, and I mean, uh, My Fair Lady is still a really great one. Of course, obviously, you got the great Audrey Hepburn, who I believe actually won an Oscar for this, if I'm not mistaken. And this, of course, stars Rex Harrison as Professor Higgins, who wagers that he can transform a Cockney flower girl into a proper lady here. And of course, Family Guy did parody My Fair Lady. I think it was like one of the earliest Family Guy episodes, where Stu was like teaching that British guy's daughter, how to talk proper and stuff, and he was performing one of the songs of My Fair Lady. So yeah, that episode definitely parodied My Fair Lady a lot, but still, My Fair Lady is a really good one. Audrey Hepburn, great. Such a really wonderful film here. All right. Coming in at number four is Che Che Bang Bang. Now, there's also a heck of other songs that Family Guy parodied, like the songs "Bag of Weed" that Stewie and Brian sang one time. That was actually a parody of one of the songs in Che Che Bang Bang. Now, of course, it was a parody of the Mio Babu, which was hilarious there. Obviously, you got some other really great. Also the one song that Pierre and James Woods sings. The Pierre Griffin and James Woods song that was also a parody of J J Bang Bang. So yeah, of course, this obviously has the great Dick Van Dyke. Great music like Sweet Tooth, Chimio Bamboo. Some really great music in all. Inventor, of course, Potts restores a magical flying car, and with the car, and his embark on like a fantastical adventure. This is actually based on a book by the author James Bond E. F. Fleming, and even Roald Dahl actually wrote on the film as well. It's such a really good one. I mean, Dick Van Dyke's great in this. The music is great. It is magical, so highly recommend that one. All right. Number three is West Side Story. Now, of course, we did have the remake that Steven Spielberg directed. The original West Side Story, obviously a Best Picture winner, starring Natalie Wood, Rita Moreno. Of course, a modern day retelling of Romeo and Juliet story set in New York City, following the romance between Tony and Maria, who are caught between like rival gangs. And obviously, the songs from the likes of America, Tonight, Maria. It's really great. Robert Wise, who of course directed another film I'll talk about here in a bit, did such a good job of co-directing. It is one of the best music movies of that decade. Speaking of Robert Wise, by the way, coming in at number two is The Sound of Music. Of course, starring the always great Julie Andrews, Christopher Plummer, where Maria, of course, is a free spirit would-be nun who becomes the governess to the seven Von Trapp children. And this movie gets played around either Easter or the holidays every time. It's just so iconic, say the least. Iconic music from the likes of The Sound of Music, do do the do, Do We My, 16 going on 17. It's just such a really good one. Julie Andrews who obviously is in this list twice here, does such a great job. Great music, great performances. The Von Trapp, the actors who played the Von Trapp kids are all great. It's just such a classic. And the best musical movie of that decade is another Julie Andrews classic, Mary Poppins. Obviously, the film that actually won a Best Picture Oscar. Uh, the aforementioned Dick Van Dyke is in this. Julie Andrews. She sings with with Cartoon Penguins. What more can you ask for? It's just such a good one. Of course, about Magical Nanny who arrives at the Banks household in London, bringing like wonder, whimsy, and life lessons to the kids here. Great music from the likes of A Spoonful of Sugar, Free the Birds, Let's Go Fly a Kite. It's just really iconic. Julie Andrews, like the one that really put her on the map. Really, she was great. Dick Van Dyke was terrific in this one. By the way, he's about to turn 100 in December, and the guy is really active for an almost 100-year-old guy. And he even pretty much did some of the dance movements in the recent Mary Poppins film, the Returns one. So God bless him there. But yeah, Mary Poppins is just such a classic. Anyway, that's pretty much it there. Here is my quick rundown. Number 10, Sweet Charity. 9, Blue Hawaii. 8, Viva Las Vegas. 7, Bye Bye Birdie. 6, The Music Man. 5, My Fair Lady. 4, Che Che Bang Bang. 3, West Side Story. 2, The Sound of Music. And number 1 is Mary Poppins. But there's 3 other ones I could have included. Of course, Oliver, the Oliver Twist one is a pretty good one. Funny Girl with Barbara Streisand. Hello, Dolly. I could have included the Jungle Book film, but to be honest, it barely has any music. It only has like 2 iconic songs, The Bare Necessity and I Want to Be Like You. That's really it. Nothing to really go by there. The original Dr. Dolittle, speaking of Rex Harrison. Truly Modern Miley. The Beatles classic, A Hard Day's Night. Camelot is a good one. Babes in Toyland. Maybe not Song of the South. Yeah. I so always get. I used to listen to that Zippy Dude tons of times as a kid. It's a shame that Song of the South barely got released. But anyway, let me ask you guys. What are some of your favorite musical movies of the '60s? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Timmy signing.